About an hour ago. I'm now in the ITN helicopter on my way to France to welcome there the first British people ever to get to France by way of the Channel Tunnel.
Hello, while John Souchet takes up position in France, I am now here at the tunnel mouth in England, doing something rather familiar, waiting for a train. Before the end of the programme, we very much hope the first trainload of people from the French side should come through, although we do gather the train is running very, very late. When they do arrive here, they'll have to go through customs, then there's a crowd waiting to greet them. First, though, let's recall the historic moment when they broke through under the English Channel. This was the picture we saw at 12 minutes past 11.
They're through, they're through. They're through, hey! There's the handshake we've all been waiting for, the Fagg and Monsieur Cosette.
Graham Fagg here was the British tunneler who broke through. Philippe Cosette, the Frenchman. Hundreds of workers and VIPs celebrated the first physical link between us and France. The service tunnel, the smallest of three tunnels, now runs all the way. It is now possible to walk to and from the continent. Now let's go over to the French end of the Channel Tunnel and ITN reporter Robert Hall. Bob.
Well, thank you, Nick. There's a degree of formality waiting for the train due to emerge from this tunnel at about 25 to 3. That's 25 to 3, 25 to 2 your time. English and French customs gathered here. Now, this is a first. It's the first time that British customs have operated on French soil. Jill, tell me, Jill Roach, how is it going to work? How will this actually operate? Because you're on French soil operating English law, effectively, aren't you?
Well, at the moment, I'm led to believe that there is a special Channel Tunnel Act that gives permission for French and English to work on either side of the channel. It'll mean that some English officers are based here permanently. Others will come through on the train daily for their shift work, and likewise with the French, there'll be the same controls the other way as well.
It's really a novel experience for you. You've been on your way over here today. I mean, is it likely to pose you any problems?
I don't know, that's yet to be seen. I think on how well getting officers from each side to the other is going to work, but I should think it'll go pretty well.
I've got to ask you this. Let's go across to Andrew now. Andrew, does this seem real to you? It certainly didn't seem real to me when I watched it earlier on.
How do you mean?
Well, the fact that there is now a physical link between the two countries.
It doesn't seem real to me either, no. It's something that's never happened before, and glad to be part of it.
Now, you will operate here. Some of your French compatriots will operate in the same way on the other side, and likewise with the police. That's right, isn't it?
That's correct, yeah.
And in the interim, what will happen in terms of an actual frontier?
Well, the French will operate first, their internal security, then their outward controls, then we'll operate, and people will then travel through the tunnel. And we'll, the other side in England, the French will operate the same way.
And there'll be an international frontier, won't there, about halfway across the tunnel?
At the moment, that's correct, yeah, but I don't know how that'll change in the future.
Not all thinking of moving to France, then?
Not at the moment, no.
Well, good luck today. It's a bit of a first for all of you. Back to Nick now at the portal in Folkestone.
Thanks very much, Bob. We've seen a few gendarmes around here, I have to tell you. When it's completed, the tunnel will carry 10,000 vehicles a day and could be carrying over 3,000 passengers an hour between London, Paris and Brussels. It will make Britain part of Europe's growing network of high-speed links.
This is the world's fastest train, the French TGV. Something very like it will run through the tunnel. But for passengers with cars, their journey will start here at the Folkestone terminal. After passing through customs, duty-free shopping and passport control, you'll drive your car onto a double-deck shuttle train almost half a mile long.
Once you've driven on to join the 7 or 8 other cars in each shuttle wagon, there's another deck upstairs. You will be able to get out to stretch your legs. What you won't be able to do for the 35-minute journey is smoke or work on your car engine because of the fire risk.
Loading cars onto the train will, they say, take only 6 minutes. There will be security checks on cars, passengers and lorries. Shuttle trains will leave every 10 minutes, running at a maximum of 80 miles an hour through the tunnel and taking 33 minutes to reach the other side. The trip will cost about the same as a ferry, but it's faster and you won't be seasick.
If, on the other hand, you want to go direct from the heart of London to Brussels or Paris, this is where you'll start from. Up these stairs under the famous Victory Arch at Waterloo Station, down an escalator, and you'll be on British Rail's new £100 million international terminal.
This section of Waterloo Station will in fact be demolished to make way for the new terminal, with 5 platforms a quarter of a mile long. In the 30-acre maze of brick arches under the station, work has already started on the foundations of the new terminal. It's hard to imagine now, but in a few years, every hour at 7 minutes to the hour, an international train will leave here for Paris, and at 27 minutes past the hour for Brussels. As building work gathers pace at Waterloo, the 30 direct trains that will operate the tunnel route are on order. They'll look something like the latest TGV, TGV Atlantique. The colour scheme may be different, but the 3 capitals trains, as they're called, are very similar to the record-breaking Atlantique. In daily service, this train can carry passengers at over 180 miles an hour.
Merci. I'm travelling on the latest TGV Atlantique. It's doing more than 160 miles an hour, and yet, as you can see, it's rock solid. Cheers.
In the tunnel, trains will be restricted to 100 miles an hour. But the journey time from London to Paris will still be almost halved and could be cut further when British Rail builds a special line for the train. In the meantime, the 3 capitals trains will run on improved existing track. That means they'll need a shoe, like BR trains, to pick up power from the third rail conductor at ground level. In Paris, they'll arrive at another new terminal at the Gare du Nord, after a run from Calais at over 180 miles an hour. France plans to put Paris at the heart of a spreading European network of high-speed lines, costing £20 billion in France alone. The foundations are now being laid for Europe's high-speed railways of the future, with 200-mile-an-hour trains. And the Channel Tunnel makes Britain a part of that exciting future.
Lawrence McGinty reporting there. It's jolly interesting hearing about all those very high-speed trains. We're waiting here at the tunnel mouth at Folkestone for a very low-speed train. It's moving at about 20 miles an hour, bringing people from the French side, the first bit of transport to come through under the tunnel, but it's going to be a very long wait, I'm afraid to say. Now we're going over to Sue Carpenter. She's at a party being held in nice warm surroundings at the Eurotunnel headquarters. Sue Carpenter.
Indeed, Nick, I am nice and warm, and I'm going to get even warmer now because I'm going into the kitchen. The French, of course, are world famous for their food, and perhaps nothing more is more typically French than the baguette. Now, with me is Didier Garnier and Reinhard Kellner of St. Quentin's restaurant, and we've got some baguettes here. They feel very cold. Why are they cold?
Well, they actually come from France.
Now, hang on, I have to, just a second. Forgot that.
They actually come from France.
Right, why is that?
Why is that?
Can't we make them here?
For two reasons. Well, no, you can't, because the water is so different in these countries that you can't get the right taste actually out of it.
So you're saying our water's rotten?
No, not wrong, but we've got so much scale in the waters, and it's much better if they are made in France.
Right.
And the other difference is the flour, which is a much stronger flour as we are using in France.
So we have to have French flour and French water to make the perfect French baguette.
Exactly.
All right. And Reinhard, how are you going to do it?
So I will cut one in half.
Right.
Half again. Put a little butter inside. And then fill it with whatever you like.
Right. So what are you actually going to fill
well,
it with
I
now?
fill it with, I think I use ham today. My favorite is smoked salmon.
Oh yes, it's been my favourite too. Why haven't you brought any of that?
With lots of butter inside. Today we use ham. And we put a few gherkins on top to give it a nice cornichon, to give it a nice, sharp, crisp flavour. Okay,
And that's all there is
you see,
to it,
and that's
is
all
it?
that's to it.
Right, and what's this? What's in here?
That is a
What is
rillette.
it? I was going to say, it
That
looks
is
like a rillette.
goose meat, like we call it's a goose fat.
Let's bring those over here so we can all get a good look at those.
I've prepared a few.
There we are, lovely. You've prepared quite a few, so we can have a feast.
Yes, exactly.
Can everyone
Some
there
with
we are,
brie,
look. Right.
some with
Okay.
gruyere, and some with ham.
So basically you can put anything you like in a
Yes,
baguette.
you can, yes.
All right, now
Yeah.
somewhere in the... Mary. I've got Mary Fagg, whose husband was the first British man to go through the tunnel today. Come around here a little bit more, Mary. Do you think Graham would like baguettes? What's his favourite food?
Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding.
So he's a true Brit then?
Yes, really, yes, he is.
All right. Well, 13,000 men like Graham have been working on the tunnel round the clock in 3 shifts for nearly 3 years now. It's a strange job, so they're a very strange breed of men. They earn between £500 and £1,500 a week, and many of them have spent all their working lives working in tunnels here or around the world.